David Baye here for MuscularDevelopment.com. I am with Peter McGough and your 2014 Orlando Europa Super Show champion, Justin Compton. Justin, first off, congratulations on your first pro win. I know this is kind of a redundant question everybody asks. How does it feel to get that first one out of the way?
Oh, this feels great. You know, this is being only my second show. I'm 25, about to turn 26. I've got my Olympia qualification, Arnold invite for next year. I mean, I feel like everything's fallen into place for me.
I'd say so with a first place finish. Now, Peter, you've been around bodybuilding as long as anybody in the industry. At 25 years old, from a potential standpoint, where do you put Justin with the guys you've seen over the years?
Well, I put Justin right up there. We're almost a flashback here to the 90s where guys did come through at 24, 25, 26. Leveroni, Flex Wheeler, Dorian Yates turned pro at 26. This guy's got all the body parts. He's got great shape. He's a mass monster with shape. I'm really impressed. I mean, the progress he's made the last 2 years, God knows what's going to happen the next 2 or 3.
Yeah, now, Justin, John threw out, our camera guy, Muscle Papa John, threw out some questions, threw out a statement to the guys who are following the play-by-play thread. You know, if we had any questions for Justin, and the thing that keeps coming up is, what did you change in the off-season? And I think, you know, one of the things I think people automatically assume when they see the kind of changes that you've made is they think, wow, he must have made changes in the off season or something. They kind of write off the fact that you're a young guy who's still growing. But did you make any changes as far as your diet or your training in the off season? I mean, with the kind of progress that you've made in not just since nationals, but from Chicago to this year, less than a year, everybody's wondering.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I changed about everything. I mean, from the training, the cardio, the diet, everything. For this show, I went 10 weeks straight into the show without 1 day off training up until, I think I took Wednesday off. Wednesday was my last day of training. So I actually trained 7 days a week. I felt like doing that, I was actually able to do less cardio. I was burning more fat through the training, so I was getting denser and harder in the gym rather than eating myself away on the cardio. So
now for this show, when you're talking training, are we talking real heavy duty, high intensity training, volume, a combination of both?
Combination of both. I mean, I don't ever consider anything a light workout, but sometimes 20 sets, sometimes 30, sometimes 35. No more than that. I mean, I try to be in and out of the gym in 75 to 90 minutes. You know, obviously a leg day is going to take longer than an arm day, but you know, I try to move quick. I mean, 90 seconds rest tops me. I don't feel like I need any more than that.
Yeah. Now, as far as your diet is concerned, you look great at Nationals in 2012. You look great in Chicago last year in 2013. So it would kind of stand to reason, well, he's looked really good the last couple times that he's competed. You looked even better here this weekend, probably better today than we saw you yesterday, which really is, you know, says a lot about you, knowing that you know how to make those changes in a short period of time to bring yourself in even better in just a matter of 24 hours. But in our talks before, you did change your diet. So with your last 2 shows having come in pretty close to on the money, why a diet change?
I just kind of decided to try some new stuff. I mean, I'm a learner. I'm always interested in, you know, learning new things. I don't think there's always one set way to do things. So I've been doing things a certain way for a long time, and I wanted to mix it up to see how my body would respond. I've never been one to necessarily count the calories, but once I actually did start counting my macros up, and I don't fit your macros up. I'll go ahead and say that right now. I don't believe in that.
There's no Pop-Tarts and cherry pie.
No. But, you know, I was looking everything over from my previous years, and I had eaten a very significant amount of protein compared to what, you know, the normal standard says you're supposed to eat. And I backed it off to like about 400, about 450 is about where I stayed the entire prep. And I felt like the less protein I was eating, you know, it kept my midsection tighter, and just less calories I had to burn. You know, my carbs, I actually got down to 200 carbs a day at one point, which I felt like I was about to die, but I got up to doing 650, 700 through my prep as well.
Okay.
My off season, I was sitting at about 1,000 to 1,200.
All right. Now, Bob Ciccarillo hit you with one of the hard questions on stage. Your first qualification for Olympia. You didn't have more than 2 minutes to think about it. He asked it. Standing next to you, arguably, and I will say the most knowledgeable man in bodybuilding as far as historically. where he's looking historically and things. Peter, when you see a guy 25 years old qualifying for his first Olympia, we've seen other guys, you know, Phil Heath, Evan Centopani, get their Olympia qualifications at a young age and then say, hey, I'm going to take some time off. If we can pretend that Justin's not standing here, or if you can just be completely blunt, you see somebody qualify with their first Olympia looking the way Justin did here this weekend, you say take some more time off, or do you say do it?
I think Justin's ready for the Olympia. You know, the body is ready for the Olympia. I always quote when people say they gain an Olympia qualification place and then don't do it. I always look back to Don Long in '96, third in the Night of the Champions, qualified and decided to pass, then never got the chance again because he was ill. You're not going to get ill. And I understand guys who do qualify in the old days when they got a third or something and really weren't ready. I understand that. This guy is ready, and it'll be good experience to go through that whole 4-day jamboree, the press conference, the prejudging, the hoopla, everything. Be good grounding for you. But I know he's his own man. He'll do what he's going to do, and whatever he decides to do will be the correct decision, because this is what's going to rule.
All right, Justin. Well, as Peter stated, you have to make up your own mind, but it's going to be pretty hard to argue with that. Not looking as far down the road, just short term, have you thought about the Dallas Europa coming up, or any of the other shows that are going to be coming up here pretty quick? I think we have Dallas and New York Pro. I think New York, I don't know if you had to have an invite there or put it in, but any of the shows that are coming up that you're thinking about maybe throwing your hat in?
Well, originally going into this year, you know, I was coming to this show, and you know, I never knew it was going to show up, so I don't know how I'm going to look. I didn't know if I was going to win, so I had to pick 3 or 4 shows. But being as I came here, and I am Olympia and Arnold qualified now, I don't think I'm going to do another Tier 1 show this year. So I have 2 options. 3. 1, taking the year off, or 2, coming to the Olympia, or third option, you know, about 10 months off and coming to the Arnold, since I have the invitation there too.
That's not a bad move. Yeah.
I mean, because going to the Olympia, I don't really have an off season, but if he says I'm ready for it, then maybe I'd be ready for it. But I just don't feel the need to, you know, go another, because if I did another 4 weeks into Dallas, that's 4 weeks I lose
going into the Olympia,
or an off season, whichever.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, it's the next level up now, whichever one that might be.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to let you think that one over. I know you just got off stage. We don't want to ask you too many questions, but we want to know. Everybody at musculardevelopment.com wants to know, so I had to throw those out there. We're going to let you get back to some of the fans. We're backstage right now, but we know there's a bunch of people waiting out there to get pictures with Justin. He got mobbed coming off the stage, and let you get some food in you, obviously, and make sure to look for the exclusive photo shoot we got coming up with Justin. We're actually going to do later on tonight, being that prejudging got done a little bit early. So again, we're going to wrap it up. For musculardevelopment.com, this is David Baye with Peter McGough and your first place finisher at the 2014 Europa Super Show, Justin Compton.